Toronto though.
My bad.
For
That was
mayors?
just for mayors. Sorry.
I mean,
okay.
The real power, I guess.
I mean,
Yes.
I mean, we talk about other stuff just to remove the pain in the city because in 2 weeks, like I don't know, man. It's so like
I
If
watched
we're
the
ready for
debates.
who's gonna be
yeah,
elected,
like that's a little. Remember, it's the next 4 years, guys.
Is it the next 4?
Wow.
They run the 4? I don't know how it runs.
It'll
wouldn't
be
it just be the rest of
Sorry,
Tory's
Yes.
standing?
Correction. Yes, it should be the rest of the 2, because
Okay.
Tory would still be doing 2.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
But you know what's funny?
but then they get elected again after the 2.
You know what's funny? It's like I never really thought about like mayors and what they really.
I'm gonna settle in Brooklyn. I'm out of here, man.
I never really thought about what mayors do per se until things start hitting the fan. You know what I mean? I never know the power of like what mayors and all. I didn't even know like the power of politics and what people can run and what people can do till like COVID, and then and then the John Tory situation, and then if I'm mayor, I could do this. I'm like, you could do that. Oh, word! You have the power to change this, and you have the power to change that. I wasn't aware. I'm not into the government politics sitting there. I'm not into it. But
Yeah,
like,
you gotta have like a little sense of it.
being-
These days now, you gotta have a little sense.
Yeah.
Because
you gotta be more informed, and you know I'm learning a little bit, and it's interesting. The debates, I've been watching the debates. The first debate I could say I actually watched completely was the Donald Trump Joe Biden debate when he said like I'm gonna plant like 5 billion trees.
just
When they talk about green and environment friendly, it's like I'm about 5 billion trees. As
That's
crazy as it
so
sounds,
funny.
short, sweet. Crazy as it sounds,
right.
short, sweet. And this is the scary part because a lot of people. What I realized for me when it comes to debates and stuff, like I was watching the debates, like the debate that they had on
Recently.
Tuesday or Wednesday, when they had like the 2-on-2, and then the one person taught, the next person taught, then 2-on-2 battle, and then all
Right.
them jump in. They ask them what their favorite movies are and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is all cool. It's
But,
cool, and I'm learning a lot.
But you're like, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Let's.
And some people were dodging the questions and know how to run in circles. I love you, child. But a lot of people had like a firm plan.
Right.
A lot of people, I can tell, like they had a firm plan, and some people I've trusted more. I've trusted more.
After like what you
It's
see.
like, okay, I see what you're saying, and some people I could see like, Lord,
Now wait.
when they're talking at the same time, it was like one person is trying to call you out and the other person is trying to like run. Like it's like running, and I'm just like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, they're saying beer words that I'm like, I know that word. I'm like, oh,
I know that word.
Okay.
Wait,
So look,
you're saying,
okay.
You're saying earlier like regarding like TTC security. Did anyone actually have an actual answer
For it?
to solve?
They all had their own answer and own solution. For me, I understand I don't understand like
I feel like it's difficult because a lot of people don't actually see the many players at the table in order for something to like that to be changed or to be put into effect. Because I don't even think Presto is not Toronto owned anymore.
I think it's everything.
Right. So
Yeah.
every system would have to make some type of agreement, and it would have to be in alignment to everyone that's being served
So that's
under this process.
So that's My Way, Mississauga. That's
Right.
What's the other one in Brampton?
Not Metro. It's
This is Brampton Transit.
no.
It
Is
is
it Brampton? Yes.
Zoom, yes, yeah.
But
Zoom.
I think more time the biggest
TTC.
thing for TTC, they were
Right.
talking about the safety,
Right.
and then they were talking about the phone lines,
Yes.
and some said, I'm gonna have rapid response teams. Some say you're gonna have more police. Some say you're gonna have service on the line because I think there's only Freedom that had service on the line.
Which most people don't know. So for those that are
Freedom, which is the
underground,
wireless
yeah.
communication
So
phone service.
based off whatever contract, which is kind of strange.
That's
What?
That's kind of strange when I seen that contract when it's like, yeah, Freedom is getting. I'm like, that's it? That's the only line? And how did they do that?
Yeah, like
They
before
probably were the
They
only
weren't
ones
even
who
there
asked.
like more than 5 years.
before Rogers and Bell did. I'm surprised like they beat the big two.
That was probably the only one that said yes and the only one who asked.
That makes you.
But I feel like I don't, because remember, I think Bell had a contract obviously because they had the payphones.
Which
Bell, it was Bell payphones, right?
Yeah,
So
So they had landlines.
the landline, but not the
but
actual
not
like,
wireless.
but like
Yeah.
the whole cell phone.
the wireless. No, yeah. Only Freedom right now.
But I guess that's all contract. Like I don't know how they did. But even I think when it started, it wasn't in everywhere. It wasn't on the whole line. It was only like certain lines, right?
It was
Certain stations.
Probably in the
mainly
beginning.
downtown, yeah.
Mainly downtown, yeah.
Because some stations have Wi-Fi too, right? Or they
Yes.
all have Wi-Fi now.
They should
yeah,
all
yeah.
have
It's
Wi-Fi.
it's been a long time. So.
No, it's
They should all.
so okay. Egg West has it.
Yes.
Obviously the
Union.
port states like the Union, St. George, Spadina, Young and Egland or Young and Bloor,
Oh, like the intersecting.
like the intersecting ones. Everywhere else, I don't know.
I think it'd be a good idea for every station or everything to have Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
But then, of course, that would also go back to who else is also being affected and all these other stuff. And that's the reason why when these politicians are saying, oh, I'll do this, how many of them actually have a relationship with all the other people who are involved in that project? That's the other part of the
Because if a
question.
new face comes in, it's like, okay, allow me to
Introduce myself. My name is Rogers. Rogers pay for cell phone.
Right?
Not like it, but they have to introduce themselves and then.
Yeah. Now they have to
Yeah.
be the lead on it. Like, what was the agreement between you and what was the agreement between TTC and
Tory,
Freedom
yeah.
and Presto and whoever else, right?
And then you know what? Someone told me, made me think about is guys like you gotta think about when you're listening to the debates and listening to certain people, you can kind of tell who's their donors
Based on how they speak.
based on how they speak and what they support.
Yeah.
Like obviously, Chief Saunders is all about the police.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like certain people are all for different things, and the way I see it, the debate was interesting to watch.
What was the biggest takeaway you got from watching it?
I liked Mitzi's call out.
Okay.
I like Mitzi. When she called the man when this guy said, "Oh, we're gonna have all lines with the contract. All lines, all service lines will be able to be functioning on the TTC." And Mitzi said, "Yo, you're the people that signed that contract. What you guys?" She's like, "Yo, what you dealing with?" Like, it was like, you know, but that's how my
You're in this shit.
That's how I see it. I'm like, you got like, the guy backed out like, oh, you know, and then it's just, I just like for me it's just man. Sometimes it's like, it's hard to tell who's lying in your face. You just have to believe, and it's like, you know what I mean.
Here's another question. From the debate, what did you hear was the most prominent problem that Toronto was facing?
Oh, okay, yeah.
One thing that they were coming at Olivia Chow was the tax, property tax,
Like,
what tax. Some guy said, "Yo, you're gonna bring it up 25% or taxes." Like they were saying some madness. I remember that part was.
Wait.
I remember.
Whoa,
they didn't like
Luckily
say
I
it
had water amount.
because they're asking how much is tax going up. It shut off. It shut off. So how much is tax going up?
Right.
How much is thing going up? And no one was like, she wasn't answering the question.
It's like she kept like
Running in circles. They're asking her over and over. Taxes. How much is taxes? Taxes. What is it? And they were going back and forth about it. They're going, you know, and she was avoiding it. She was avoiding it completely. But at the end of the day, the way I see it, like, I think they're coming at her because she was on the top of the list. Like, she's up there.
like she's in number 1, yeah.
Right. So at the end of the day, that's what they're gonna do when they need you to right? So there's that. Then everybody had their own thing on the phone line. I think they asked what their favorite movie was. And it was like everybody had their own movie. Somebody said Dirty Harry, someone said Star Wars, someone said thing, and then someone said, you know what, I'm not gonna pander because I don't have a favorite movie, but you're technically pandering to the people that say I don't have a favorite movie. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like you're still saying the same thing. You know what I mean? But you know what? I just hope these people, you know, look into the working class and look into the people that are, you know, out here working hard.
Oh wow, property tax is really
What
low.
would you say? I think they might bring it up.
It's like 2% right now.
Not even.
I don't know if it's property tax, but some type of tax is going to be taxing.
So
tax will be taxing
for residential. So for residential, the total rate is 0.667%.
Oh Lord, 666.
That's for residents.
Never wear it not.
For commercial, it's 2.16. Industrial, it's 2.17.
Something is gonna go up, and it's gonna affect everybody some way somehow. But you know, I don't think. I just don't understand. Like, don't you guys learn? Like, okay, I'm not gonna be a politician person. I don't know anything about politics. So this is just a stupid take.
Okay. What's your statement?
People
comment?
like Pierre Trudeau, right? People love them. Elliot Trudeau, especially us coming into the country and all the things he implemented. But people don't like Justin Trudeau. And it's like people like Jack Layton. But do you trust Olivia Chow? Can you trust Olivia Chow?
That's the thing. That's the.
I think it comes down to the times and what the people actually need at the time, and the person itself. Like, are they relatable to what is needed in this current time? Because maybe the message or what the actual like needs of that era of time when Pierre Trudeau was here or when Jack Layton was here, it was very well received, but that same message may not be a message that should be deployed now because it's not meeting the needs of people, right? So like, say for example, if we're talking about housing and we're asking for taxes to go up and we're asking for property taxes to go up, but if for the people right now we're like, but we barely can even fit in a house altogether, what house are we going to be raising taxes to if we aren't even in one? It doesn't make sense because it's not received well. So in a time where people actually had good homes and say like it was a good 3-bedroom home you can afford and this and that, and they're at low prices, not at these $1 million now, but a good 200,000 entry level, 300,000, and they're like, okay, we're gonna raise the tax. You really are probably gonna be spending maybe a $500 more on your $100,000 to $400,000 home. But adding that now is going to be like an additional $5,000.
Yeah, it's going to hurt some people.
Exactly. So that's different. You can't really do that because the times are different.
I didn't hear, like, I heard a lot on taxing, but I heard, like, one thing they brought up a lot was, they all brought up, well, not everyone. They brought up housing. They brought up, we wanted to bring entry-level housing or more affordable housing for people to stay in Toronto. Because a lot of people, you know, these younger kids, apparently, they don't want to
live
here because of that. You know what I mean? They can't afford to be here.
When you're on social media and you're looking at these houses in Texas.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like
exactly. Them Texas houses look mad.
$300,000 home with 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3 bathrooms. What?
Acres of land or whatever, and it looks blessed.
Yo!
Yeah, you're right.
When you look at that, can they even compete?
Nah, you can't compete at all.
Like, especially in the city. My thing is, I don't understand why we will not build in Orangeville, in all those development places.
I feel like a lot of these places are being developed, but nobody wants to live out there.
And then on top of it, no one's owning the actual acreage anyways.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Because I only say this because there's maybe some people actually are aware of this on Twitter. There is a Twitter page where they sell different parts of land. It's undeveloped land. So you would have to be probably the person who will develop. Like, you'd have to start doing, you do the, what's it called? oh my gosh, can't remember this term. But you would survey the land. Sorry. So you would survey the land, and you would see if there's like pipelines, waters, pipes, all this other stuff, electricity running, if it's even available to run it, X, Y, and Z, right? But it's an affordable price. You could probably get like a good acre to 2 acres for like $10,000.
It's just the problem is like for me when I was looking at some land stuff, yes, you could get land, but
It's to build it.
it's to build on the land. And some they'll be like, oh, you can't build on this land. But I feel like they're gonna get to a point where they're probably gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna have to start building on this land.
Yeah.
If they can find a way to make it like suitable to build,
Yes.
they'll find I don't know. I guess that's where, science and I don't know. They need to figure that out. I don't know.
This is why they just need to give some people $100,000 grants.
I don't think they're gonna be giving away like that, man.
They be giving it away like that.
They be giving it away, but not to the people that need it per se.
And the people who would actually do something about it.
Yeah, or utilize it in the best interest of everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the working class and
Yeah.
people actually, I don't know, helping each other. But at the end of the day, there's gonna be people that will be doing their part times